we will make sure that Miss Hannah gets her treat from everybody before we start class. This is what you were waiting on, isn't it, Hannah? Here we go. Here's your treat. You're a good girl. That's all you get. Maybe I'll give you one after class, but you have to be a good girl. That's easy, Mama. All right. So sit comfortably, either in cross-legged or you could sit. Some people prefer to kind of sit on their heels in Vajrasana, or even on a block in hero pose. All right. Just kind of settle in. You can wiggle around a little bit, shift, just so that you feel centered on the buttock bones and grounded in the legs. And without trying too hard or without forcing anything to happen, just begin to bring length into your spine and align the spine the best you can. Just tune into your breathing. And we're in a really kind of cool time, actually. I mean, the quarantine sucks for a lot of us, and some of us don't have any jobs right now, and that sucks. And you know, a lot of things just kind of aren't very fun for a lot of people right now, and there is a lot of stress going on. But we're also in a really kind of cool time in that all the regular stuff in the gatherings have been put on pause. And so that gives us a chance to kind of slow down and reflect, you know, what's working in our lives, what's not working. And so we have more quiet time available to us if we want. And for the most part, we have had pretty decent weather for getting outside and getting out in nature. And that's such a great place to be, to connect, right, to your soul and to your purpose. So we do have some really great things happening right now. And just think if something like this were happening, you know, she's very excited about this opening time. If this were happening, you know, 25, 30 years ago, we wouldn't have this advancement, right? Technological advances like Zoom to help bring us together. So that's kind of cool. So just focusing on those things that are going right and offering gratitude for those can be helpful for creating a nice, just calm, happy, steady state of mind. Take a nice deep breath. I'm laughing at Hannah. I can just hear her going to town. Take a nice deep breath. As you exhale, bow the head and open your eyes. And lift your arms up and overhead. Interlace the fingers and press your palms up. Lower your arms and twist to your right. You almost there, sister? Bring your arms up in the center. And then lower them as you twist to your left. And face the front. Let's stretch the legs out. Squeeze your quadriceps a few times. All right. Bring the soles of the feet together for bound angle pose. You can even lean back onto the hands a little bit. is really press those heels into each other and let the knees go out and then down. Open the heart up. Good. And then bring the knees together. Let's start on all fours. This is a pose that can be a little bothersome to the knees. So one quick fix for that, if you want extra cushion, is just to fold the mat a little bit to give your knees some cushion. Right. All right, so this is to get some mobility in the hips. Those candles are back there. Hold on. So we're going to take the leg and the right leg and shoot it out behind you. So the leg right now is parallel to the floor. Press those hands into the floor so that you're activating the muscles of the arms. Activate the muscles of the core. And then start to bend the right knee and bring the knee towards the outside of the right shoulder. Then bring the thigh underneath your torso. Kind of create a little cat arch, knee towards the forehead. And then put the knee back down. Do that 2 more times. Take the right leg out behind you. Turn the thigh kind of out to the side there. Bring the knee to the right shoulder. And then bring the thigh under you. Create a cat arch in your back. And knee back down. One more time. Leg out behind you. Turn and rotate the hip a little bit. Bring the knee to the outside of the right shoulder. Thigh underneath you, cat arch, and knee down. Good. Just to give the wrists a little break, let's walk the hands forward, curl the toes under, and press back into a downward facing dog. Go back and forth, pedaling the feet, alternate bending the knees. And then back on to all fours. If this does bother your wrist, you could practice this on a stacked wrist by practicing kind of on the fist. So take the left leg behind you. Then rotate the hip and bring the knee to the outside of the shoulder. Bring the thigh bone underneath you, cat arch, forehead to the knee, and knee back to the floor. 2 more times, leg out behind you. Rotate the hip, bring the knee to the outside of the shoulder. Boop, 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 boop. Thigh underneath you, hug those abdominals. And then knee back to the start. Leg out behind you. Roll that thigh, and then, bring the knee to the outside of the shoulder. My left hip is so much tighter than my right. And then bring the left knee towards the forehead and put the knee down. All right, walk those hands forward. Curl your toes under. Come back to down dog. Good. Take a couple breaths in down dog. Again, you can pedal the feet a little bit or walk the dog, so they say. And then just to get a little different stretch on the hamstrings, turn the right heel towards the center, right, of the mat, and the right toes kind of point out to the side. Bend the left knee and just kind of push up and back into that right hip, right? So your right foot is kind of like in a Mary Poppins position. Good. And then both toes facing, or both sets of toes facing the front of the mat. And turn the left heel in to the center. Bend the right knee and push up and back into the left hip. Ooh, that feels so good. Then even out or parallel the feet. And then walk those feet towards the hands for forward fold. You can have the knees bent if you like. And then while you're in forward fold, do what we did in downward dog. So just kind of straighten one knee at a time. So one knee bends and one knee straightens. And we go back and forth, pumping the legs. And then straighten both knees. Let the head and neck just relax. And come all the way up with the arms and hands. Reach up and hands to your heart. Good. Bring the arms up. Inhale. Exhale into Uttanasana. Forward fold. Place the hands on the shins. Bring the torso parallel to the floor. Half forward fold. And then bow into forward fold. Come all the way back up to standing, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, half forward fold. Exhale, release into forward fold. Come all the way back up to standing, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more like that. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. And now come all the way back up. And hands to your heart. All right, take the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, come to forward fold. Put a bend in the knees. Keep the right foot forward. Step the left foot way back. And you might have to scoot the right foot a little more forward, but what we want is right knee over the right ankle. Yes, we're in lunge. You could be on the fingertips or maybe on those fists or hands on the blocks. Pull the chest forward. 3 times. Inhale, bend the back knee. Take it close to the floor. Exhale, straighten. So now we're kind of getting into that front of the left thigh. Inhale, bend the back knee. Exhale, straighten. One more. Inhale, bend the back knee. Exhale, straighten. Nice. Hands to the floor. Step the right foot back to downward facing dog. Rock forward to plank pose, shoulders over the wrists. And then take the knees down and bring the chest and chin to the floor. Stretch your legs long behind you. And then lift up into a little cobra pose. Keep the collarbones broad, shoulders away from the ears. Tuck the chin slightly towards the chest. Press the hands into the floor a little more and lift your torso up as much as you can without taking the shoulders up towards your ears. You want to keep that chest nice and open and shoulders down. All right, lower down. Curl the toes under, press back to down dog. And walk the feet to the hands. Forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, the arms sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Here we go. Bend the knees, take the right foot back. And I need to shimmy my left toes forward a little bit. There we go. Left knee stacked on top of the ankle. Hands in a place where you feel supported. And then inhale, bend the back knee. To get close to the floor, exhale, straighten. 2 more. Inhale, bend the back knee, sink those hips. Exhale, straighten. 1 more time. Bend the back knee. Exhale, straighten. Woo. Lunges never disappoint. Hands to the floor, step the left foot back to down dog. Good. While we're in down dog, let's play again with those feet. So right heel kind of turns in towards the center, left knee bends and push up and back into that right hip. You should feel a stretch kind of on the outer right glutes. Good. Parallel your feet and then turn the left heel in, left toes out, and press up and back into the left hip as you bend the right knee. Good. Parallel your feet. Come forward to plank pose and then lower down all the way to your belly. All right, this time we're going to do locust pose. It's a really nice way to activate the hamstrings. And one thing I like to do when I practice is work on contracting a muscle, right, to get it warm, but then stretching it. So like in this instance, we're going to contract the hamstrings as we lift the legs away from the floor and the torso lifts, so it's contracting the back muscles, right? So this will bring strength to the hamstrings. They're often neglected in some practices. So this gets them nice and warm, and then when we go back to down dog, they get to stretch out and lengthen. All right, place the hands on the floor, press back to down dog. Whee. Hi, Hannah. And then walk the feet forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Come all the way up, inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now bring those toe mounds, the big toe mounds towards each other so they touch. Sink your hips into Utkatasana, fierce pose. You'll notice I have my arms up if you're even looking. So you can have the hands on the thighs. This is going to be the easiest for your lower back and your shoulders, okay? Or you can have the hands in prayer. That gives the legs a little more work. And if it doesn't bother your shoulders or lower back, you can kind of reach the arms up. Inhale here. Exhale, sink a little deeper into the hips. Now lay the belly on the thighs. Fingertips to the floor. Step the left foot back. Lunge. Bend the back knee. Take it close to the floor. And straighten. Bend the back knee, take it close to the floor. And straighten. One more time. Bend the back knee. And straighten. Good. Now we're going to play around with that with the front knee. You're probably not going to go all the way straight with the front leg. So just inhale, straighten the front knee as much as you can without overstretching. And then exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten the knee. It doesn't have to go all the way straight. Exhale, bend. One more, inhale. Exhale, bend. Good. Now place the hands on the front thigh and lift your torso. I hope your right leg is getting as tired as mine is. Take your arms overhead. And now twist to your right. If having the left arm hooked to the outside of the right leg is not working for you, put the left hand on the floor and the right hand on the right thigh. All right, both hands to the floor, step the right foot back to down dog. Come to plank, lower down. Come into locust pose. There we go. So the legs are lifting and the torso is lifting. If you bend the knees just a little bit, that'll contract the hamstrings a little more. Good, and then place the hands on the floor. Tuck the toes under, down dog. And then walk the feet towards the hands. Uttanasana. Wiggle those feet so that the toe mounds are connected, the big toe mounds. And squat down with the hips. Lift the belly away from the thighs. Utkatasana. Fierce pose. And then stand tall, straighten the knees. Tadasana, mountain pose. And next week, I'm going to be teaching kids about being a hero. And mountain pose can be our own, like, heroine pose. So if you place your hands, you don't have to do it, but I love it. If you place your hands on your hips, it's like you're Wonder Woman. All right, take the arms overhead, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, deep squat. Lift the belly off the thighs, keep the knees nice and bent. Utkatasana, fierce pose. Keep the left knee bent, hands to the floor, take the right foot back. Three times, inhale, bend the back knee. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. One more time, inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Good, and then we'll do that little back and forth with the front leg. Just be safe. So straighten on the inhale a little bit. Exhale, bend. Without blocks, I cannot straighten my front knee all the way. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time. And bend. Good. Hands to the front thigh, lift up with your torso. Take your arms overhead. And then twist to your left. Here we go. I got a click on the other side. I'm not getting one on this side. I guess I'll just be thankful for the one I got. All right, hands to the floor. Make your way back to downward dog. Come to plank pose and lower down. Locust pose, lift up. Locust pose. So all those erectors on the back body are contracted to lift your torso away from the floor. Those hamstrings are working to get your thighs off the floor. Try to take a little bit more of your thighs off the floor. Woo! All right, hands to the floor. Take it back to down dog. And then step the feet forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Wiggle those big toe mounds so that they touch, with the feet rather. You're kind of wiggling the feet together to get the big toe mounds to touch. And then sink the hips, keeping the belly on the thighs for now. Hands to the thighs, keep the hips low, lift up into Utkatasana. Hands can be either on the thighs, in prayer, or reaching overhead. Now to shift a little bit more load into the left leg, take your right leg out to the side. You can have the toes on the floor. I'll turn in case you need to see. And then bring both feet back together and take the left foot out to the side, putting more load on the right leg. Oh, yes. Bring the feet together, forward fold. Great toe mounds are still touching. Sink the hips again. And then lift your torso. Now, this is gonna create a load again on the left leg, but now we're gonna really charge the hip flexors on your right leg, okay? It's gonna charge your hip flexors and your abdominals by just picking the right foot up off the floor about a half an inch to an inch. Ooh. And then put the foot down. Shifting the weight into the right foot, pick up the left foot. Activate those abs. Good. Left foot down, forward fold. Come all the way up with the arms. And hands to the heart. Whew. I'm getting a little sweaty. Standing Tadasana. Or if you would like to imagine your flowing cape and your golden belt and your red skivvies and your blue corset with stars all over it and your awesome thick head of brown hair and your perfectly red Maybelline lips. I remember Linda Carter did commercials for Maybelline. I think that was it. Oh, well, anyway, back to the practice. Okay, so reach your arms up overhead. And come into forward fold. Half forward fold. Bend the knees, step the feet back to downward dog. We're gonna do a little practice now that is similar to what we did on all fours when we started the class, okay? So first, lift your right leg while you're in downward dog. And as you come forward to plank, bring the right knee to the outside of the right arm, aiming for that right shoulder. Good. Then bring the thigh towards your belly and forehead towards the knee. Doing. And reach the leg back up in the air. And put the foot down. Lift the left leg. Come to plank and bring that knee towards the outside of the left arm. This is activating the hip flexors and the abs. And then thigh to the belly, knee towards the forehead. Boing. And lift the leg back up. Three-legged dog. And foot back down to the floor. We'll do that again on the right side. Lift your right leg. Bring the knee to the outside of the right arm and plank. Press the left heel back. Bring that right thigh towards your belly and knee towards the forehead. Three-legged dog, right leg in the air. And put the foot down. Left leg up. Come to plank pose, knee to the outside of the left arm. Good. Then bring the thigh towards the belly, knee towards the forehead. And back to three-legged dog. Left foot down. Come forward to plank pose. Lower all the way down. Take a breath. And now let's come into locust pose, lifting those legs. Bend the knees a lot. If you can reach your ankles without twisting, reach your ankles. If not, just keep bending the knees. That's going to activate the hamstrings. If you can reach the ankles, just kick back into the hands. Good. Lower down, hands to the floor. Curl your toes under, down dog. Okay, now lift your right, hi Hannah, hello baby. Lift your right leg. Come into plank pose with the knee to the outside of the right arm. Bring that knee towards the forehead, thigh towards the belly. And then pause here, kind of rock a little bit and shoot that right foot forward into lunge. Boing! Yeah, if that didn't happen very smoothly, I didn't see it, so you're good. Even if I did see it, I wouldn't care. Just make your way into a lunge with the right knee over the right ankle. Hands on the front thigh, lift up. Torso is up. Place the hands on the hips. Bend the back knee. Tilt the pelvis so that you're bringing it close to level, right? So that means bringing the front hip bones up and dropping the sacrum down. Good. Maintain that alignment of the pelvis and straighten the back knee. And we'll twist once again to the right. If you want a little challenge for the balance, and if it doesn't cause knee pain, 3 times on the inhale, bend the back knee, lowering it close to the floor, and then exhale, straighten. 2 more, bend, and straighten. 1 more, bend, and straighten. Lovely. Hands to the floor, step back to down dog. So you'll notice tonight I've done a lot of movement while we're in a pose. That's called a dynamic way to practice. By dynamic, it just means moving, right? Static is when we kind of stay still in a pose. Ooh, uh-oh. All right, so now lift your left leg, inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the knee to the outside of the left arm. Thigh towards the belly, knee towards the forehead. Then get a little momentum. You might want to rock back a little bit. And then rock forward and spoing. Left foot is in a lunge. Hands on the front thigh, lift up. I'm sweating a lot. All right, so now take your arms up. And twist to the left. Maybe 3 times. Inhale, bend the back knee. Oh, I know what I forgot, but I'm going to do it when we come out of the lunge. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. 1 more time. Inhale, bend. Remember, this is optional. You can't just stay in the lunge. Exhale, straighten. Unwind. Come back to high lunge. This is what I forgot, and this is why it felt so easy to go into the twist. So bend your back knee a little bit, hands to the hips. Lift the hip points up. Sacrum goes down. Belly hugs in and straighten the back knee. Oh, yeah. I didn't want you to miss out on that lovely little feeling. Okay, hands to the floor, down dog, last one. I think. There might be one more. All right, knees to the floor. Child's pose if it doesn't hurt your knees, or lie on your back and hug your knees to your chest. Couple breaths here in child's pose. Hands under the shoulders if you're face down. Sit up. So let's come to a seated position. Hey, Hannah. And I'm going to turn to the side. It might make a little bit more sense if I'm sideways, if you're looking at the screen. Hey, lady. So a lot of you are familiar with the figure 4 stretch when we're on our back and you cross the right ankle over the left knee, for example, and you draw the knee towards the chest, right? We're going to do kind of a play on that, if you will. So you just kind of lean back onto your hands and your torso's leaned back a little bit. And I like to turn my fingers out to the side. It's easier on the wrists. Then cross the right ankle over the left knee. And then if you want to get a little stretch, lean in towards the legs, right? And then you can come back and then switch legs. And then lean in towards the legs. Just enough to get a stretch, right? And then go back and forth, leaning back, crossing the right leg, coming in, and then leaning back. So the other night we had a discussion about a similar pose, right? And holding it for longer periods of time. That would be considered a static practice, right? Wanting to get some deeper stretching. But this is a way, I'm assuming you're all going back and forth, just keep going back and forth. Right? So this is a way to practice dynamically and kind of, it's like a gentle way to enter the stretch, right? Just kind of going in a little bit and then coming out, so it's not too much. It's like when you're if you like getting into a pool, right, or a bath or something, and you touch the water, and it's like, woo, right, that's too cold, or woo, that's too, or ow, that's too hot. Right, we're just kind of acclimating the body to the pose. All right, and then have your feet on the floor, knees bent, and come onto your back. And now we'll do the figure 4 stretch. So cross the right knee over the left ankle and draw the left thigh towards you. Oh yeah. So the legs are hopefully nice and warm, the muscles of the legs. And we've kind of prepped the body for this pose. And so now we can take several breaths here. It does add a little safety to the right knee, a little bit of protection for the knee if you flex the right toes towards the right shin. And I'm even just kind of swaying my hips side to side a little bit. When you do that, it's like going on a little hunt, right? And finding out which position is accessing an area that might need to be stretched a little more. Then you can stay there. All right, and let's switch sides. Take the left ankle, cross it over the right knee, draw the right thigh in. Ooh, flexing the left toes towards the left shin. I wish I could keep going and I'd have a little rhyme there. Left ankle over the right knee. Draw the right thigh in. Make sure that you flex the left toes towards the shin. Wiggle your, no, that doesn't work. I was trying to figure out a way to throw in the word grin. Take a deep breath and then make a grin. Oh, that's bad. I'm gonna stop. Okie dokie. Just hug both knees to the chest. Put the feet on the floor. Before we close the practice, I do recommend going up into bridge pose. So that's feet on the floor, knees bent, and just kind of press the arms into the floor. Oh, Tanya, I don't know if Mel warned you about how I'm not like the most serious teacher in the whole wide world, and how I sometimes cut jokes and stuff like that. I call it the only child syndrome. All right, lower down from bridge pose. And then gather whatever will make you the most comfortable and set up for Shavasana. I'm gonna get my little pillow off my Hannah chair and put it under my knees. Yeah. This was a pretty leg focused practice. So if you have the ability to elevate the legs on a chair or an ottoman, or even put legs up the wall, that might feel really nice. We won't be in the Shavasana very long, so you're welcome to maybe practice legs up the wall or something like that, more restorative, whenever we end the class. Just check in with how your body's feeling. When we have strong legs and a great connection of our feet to the earth, that gives us a lot of steadiness and power in our daily life. It builds confidence when we do leg strengthening poses, stamina, endurance. Develops balance. And if we're feeling a little like too whirlwindy with our thoughts and just kind of crazy, doing standing poses and leg focused practices where we're balancing and really having the feet on the floor helps ground us. Okay. So for the last few moments, I'll say a few mantras with some of those words I just mentioned. You can allow my voice to become your voice. I am grounded. I am balanced. I am strong. I am connected. I am powerful. I am confident. I have endurance. All right, so let's go ahead and take some deeper breaths. Bend the knees and place your feet on the floor. Just rock your knees a little from side to side. Roll over to one side. Press your hands into the floor. Come up to a seated position. think we lost Kelly. We'll send her our light. So I will do a close of the class, and then I will unmute, and you have the opportunity or option, invite, this may be a better word, the invitation to chat for a few minutes when we're done. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. It was a lot of fun. Namaste.